The lights of the party were going out, one by one, leaving the panoramic terrace wrapped in a melancholic twilight. The cold night air filtered through the glass doors, carrying with it the silence of the sleeping city. His rough hand, marked by labor, was already on the cold, smooth door handle. Noah was ready to vanish, to return to his own world. It was then that he saw her. Lara Cole, the company's CEO, was a deserted island in a sea of emptiness. Leaning against the bar, the sequins on her dress seemed to have lost all their light. Her gaze was lost, glassy. Then she turned, as if she had sensed his presence. She stared at him, trying to bring him into focus in that elegant darkness. Her voice came out, thick and fragile, cutting through the silence. "You," she murmured. "You're the one from the cleaning crew, right? But before we find out what happened next, take a moment and write in the comments what city you're listening from. And while you're at it, if these stories move you, please leave a like and subscribe to the channel. For you, it's just a click, but for us, it means we can keep telling them. And now, let's return to our story. Just a few hours earlier, the only luxury in Noah's apartment was the silence. He stood before the bathroom mirror, and the thin crack that ran across it split his reflection in two. It felt fitting. He had felt like half a man ever since his wife, Sarah, was gone. He was buttoning his only decent shirt, a little worn at the collar, when Zoe's voice reached him. "Attention, attention. Live from our living room tonight, an exclusive interview with the most mysterious man in the building." His 9-year-old daughter appeared in the doorway, armed with a hairbrush she used as a microphone. "Mr. Noah, is it true that you plan to attend the company's grand ball tonight?" Noah managed a smile. "It's not a grand ball, sweetie. It's just a boring party." "But why do you never want to go anywhere?" she asked, dropping the act and turning serious. "Are you afraid to have fun?" The question, so simple and direct, hit him. It wasn't a fear of having fun. It was the fear of feeling out of place. Of being invisible. Zoe seemed to read his mind. She ran to the dresser, opened the bottom drawer, and pulled out a small, dusty box. "Then you'll need a secret weapon." Inside, on a bed of faded velvet, lay a blue silk tie with tiny silver dots that looked like stars. The last gift from Sarah. Noah hadn't touched it in years. He picked it up, and the smooth fabric evoked a vivid memory, his wife's smile, her voice saying, "For when you conquer the world, Noah." He hadn't conquered anything. He had only tried to survive. "You have to wear it, Dad," Zoe insisted. "Mom would want you to be happy." Noah looked at her. He looked at the tie. It wasn't just a piece of cloth. It was a promise. With trembling fingers, he knotted it around his neck. The knot was imperfect, a little crooked. Just like him. But for the first time in a long time, he felt a little more whole. The terrace on the 38th floor was another planet. The smell of floor wax and disinfectant he was used to was swept away by a cloud of expensive perfumes and the sparkling aroma of champagne. Noah felt like a fish out of water, and the water was far too expensive for him. He hid in a corner, observing. He saw watches that were worth more than 6 months of his rent. He heard snippets of conversations about vacations in the Maldives and year-end bonuses. He grabbed a glass of soda just to have something to do with his hands. His hands, rough and calloused, seemed like an accusation in that world of perfect manicures. His inner monologue was a constant hum. He wondered how much a single bottle of that champagne, flowing like a river, would cost. More than his groceries for an entire month? Probably. He saw an executive laugh, showing a row of perfectly white teeth. What kind of problems could a man like that have? Surely not worrying about a broken boiler or his daughter's shoes getting too small. The invisibility that was a necessity at work had become his armor here. If no one noticed him, no one could judge him. No one could see the crack that ran through his soul. What would Sarah say, seeing him there, huddled in the shadows? She would probably tease him, then gently push him toward the center of the room. But Sarah wasn't there. And all Noah wanted was to escape. Then, the atmosphere shifted. A wave of silence spread from the bar, slow and relentless. The laughter died down. The conversations faded. At the center of that silence was Lara Cole, She swayed, clutching the bar counter to keep from falling. And then, the moment froze. The phones appeared. Not overtly, but with furtive gestures. The bluish, spectral light from the screens illuminated the faces of the onlookers, carving cruel smirks and smiles into the darkness. They weren't helping. They were recording. Noah heard whispers as sharp as broken glass. She's completely wasted. Right when she couldn't afford to be. Imagine what the folks at Vulture Capital will say when they see these pictures. The board will use this as an excuse to accept the offer. It's over for her. People didn't just walk away. They backed away, step by step, as if her weakness were a contagious disease. They created a circle of emptiness around her, an invisible stage on which her humiliation was being performed. The most powerful woman in the company was alone. Terribly, completely alone. And in that circle of emptiness, Noah no longer saw the CEO. He saw a person. And he realized his invisibility could be useful for something. He could cross that void without being noticed. Noah put down his glass. With his heart pounding against his ribs, he crossed the forbidden space. "Ms. Cole?" he said, his voice low. "Maybe it's time to go home." She looked up. There was no power in her eyes, only confusion and a deep exhaustion. She nodded weakly. As he led her out, he felt everyone's eyes on him. For once, he wasn't invisible. He was the janitor, escorting the fallen queen away. The car ride was surreal. The rustle of her silk dress against the rough, worn fabric of his car seat created a deafening contrast. In the silence, broken only by the engine's hum, Lara murmured something in her sleep. A name. Dad. The next morning, the call came. The CEO's secretary. Glacial tone. "Ms. Cole wants to see you in her office. In 10 minutes. It was over. He was going to be fired. He entered the office, a glass aquarium with a view of the entire city. But then his gaze was caught by an out-of-place detail on the immaculate desk. Next to an ultra-slim computer and a designer phone, there was a simple pen holder. It was made of dark wood, worn with age, with small, hand-carved incisions. A humble object, full of history. Lara Cole was seated, but she wasn't looking at him. She was staring at her monitor, from which a cold light hardened her features. Noah caught a glimpse of figures and an aggressive logo, Vulture Capital, final offer. She turned off the screen with a sharp gesture. There was a trace of mortal weariness in her eyes. "Sit down, Noah." Her voice was firm, but fragile. "Last night," she began, "I wasn't just drunk. I was desperate. I was about to lose everything." She gestured toward the dark screen. "They want to buy the company. To tear it to pieces. And I was about to give in." She stood up, walked to the window. "Everyone saw an opportunity to take advantage of my weakness. You saw a person." Her fingers drifted to the wooden pen holder, stroking it almost unconsciously. "This was my father's. He was a janitor, Noah. Just like you. He built this company on one principle: a person's worth isn't measured by their job title. And last night, I had forgotten that." She turned and looked at him, and for the first time, Noah saw a fire in her eyes. "They expect me to give in. To cut costs, to fire people. To become like them. But then you came along. And you reminded me that the true value of this company isn't in its stock price. It's in its people. People like you. People like my father." She returned to her desk. "I've read your file. Tireless, precise, never a complaint. There's an opening for a facilities coordinator. Better pay, better hours, health insurance for you and your daughter." She looked him straight in the eye, with a new, fierce determination. "They want me to cut. Instead, I'm going to invest. Starting with you. The job is yours, if you want it. And if you're willing to help me fight." That evening, Noah came home. It wasn't just relief he felt. It was lightness. He found Zoe on the couch, busy with her homework. "So?" she asked, without looking up. "Did you meet anyone important?" Noah sat down next to her. "Yes. I did. And you know what? I think Mom's tie gave me a little bit of her courage. He told her everything. Zoe's eyes grew wide. When he finished, she didn't say a word. She threw her arms around his neck. Then she stood up, pulling him by the hand. We have to celebrate. And in the middle of their small living room, father and daughter danced. A clumsy and wonderful dance, with no music, lit only by the light of a streetlight outside the window. This story teaches us something profound. True worth isn't found in our job title, our bank account, or the clothes we wear. It's hidden in the things we carry with us, the rough hands of a father, an old tie that holds a love, a simple wooden pen holder that reminds us where we come from. And now, one last thing. Think for a moment. What is the humblest object you own that tells the most important story of your life? An old photograph, a crumpled movie ticket, a coin found on the street. Every one of us has a treasure hidden in a drawer. Tell us the story of yours in the comments. We will read and cherish every single memory. If this video touched you and you think its message is important, leave a like and share it with someone you care about. Subscribe to the channel and turn on the bell so you don't miss other stories that make you think. Thank you for staying with us until the end. Your support is our driving force. And remember, kindness is a currency that never loses its value. See you soon.